Welcome back to my channel. Now obviously I emphasize more on expulse and off-roading, but this is a video that is going around and I felt I should express my point of view and what could have been avoided and whose fault is it. Obviously the question mark of whose fault is it. Now India being India, unfortunately you get licenses without really having the knowledge of how to drive a car or without having the absolute road sense. The driver obviously is in the fault. He was coming from the wrong directions. Now there have been many examples where say you ride your bike on ghats, and there have been multiple videos where the driver, if it's a one-way lane, the driver will overtake another car from the other lane in a blind turn, and I've seen multiple accidents taking place. Now out of all those multiple accidents, this accident has actually got coverage because unfortunately a young 22-year-old person, rider, has lost his life. Now obviously it's the driver's fault. He shouldn't have basically taken his car in a one-way 4-lane street. There was obviously, people in India, they want to drive the car or ride the bike in the opposite coming traffic just to save 5 to 10 minutes of their time. This is pretty common. I'm sure everyone has done that. And let's acknowledge this, that everyone has done that. At times, if there's a lot of traffic, I'll give you examples. I ride to Lonavala quite often. This is a hill station from between Mumbai to Lonavala, which is in Maharashtra. Quite a few times, because there is an oil spill or a tanker unfortunately has an accident, they completely block one side of the road. So police themselves allow traffic to flow from the opposite direction, and these circumstances happen. Now in India, you have got to understand that India is full of idiots with reference to driving or riding. Or forget about idiots, you can see cows crossing the roads or dogs crossing the roads, or just pedestrians thinking, I'm not going to look left or right, I'll just put my hand and I'll cross the road blindly. I have so many times felt like if I had not pressed my brake at that particular point of time, I would have crashed into a person. Now why am I talking about these uncertainties? Is because however sad or however heavy-heartedly I'm going to tell this, the rider was also unfortunately in the fault. Now before you say how can you say that, because I'm a rider myself, let me understand. I've kind of rethought the scenario in my head quite a few times. Let's say the rider definitely was much faster than the speed limits. I understand the speed limits is at times really pathetic. You cannot ride your bike at 50 kilometers per hour in a 4-lane road, or 60 kilometers per hour in a 4-lane road. Obviously you want to drive faster, but when you ride your bike, you have to maintain lane discipline. Lane discipline is extremely important because your vision is in that lane. You can foresee the traffic in that lane. When you're riding at the speed the rider was riding, and I'm assuming it might be 100, 110, easy, because that was a KTM. KTMs are extremely powerful and they're very deceiving. You don't even realize you're going that fast because the bike is that well built by KTM, with the inverted suspension, with the traction control, all those facilities. When I ride my Impulse at 100, I feel I'm at 100. When I ride my friend's KTM at 100, I feel as if I'm just at 50, 60. You just don't get the thrill of riding. KTM being a KTM, or any modern bike, the good thing is they're modern. The bad thing is you just want to push the bike because the bike is built for all of that. Now when the rider was riding that fast, fine, I've also ridden fast on 4-lane roads, but I have always maintained my lane. What you see is the rider crossing 3 lanes and going in the slow lane. Okay, the rider just crossed 3 lanes, going in the slow lane in the blind corner. Now let me help you with certain scenarios. I'm driving my car, suddenly I have a puncture. I will not stop the car in the middle of the road. I'll take it on the side and slow down, press my parking lights and stop the car there. assuming I stop the car there, okay, the rider is going full speed, I'm sure there is no ways he'll have enough time, enough reflexes to stop immediately. There's not enough, forget about the reflexes, there's not enough distance for the bike to stop immediately and bang a stationary object. He would have banged. Let's say you have family of 4 riding their Hero Honda Splendor slowly on the slow lane. Let's say they are 40, 50, 60 ka speed. The rider going fast, he wouldn't have enough time. He would have slammed into that family. Let's say I'm cycling. I cycle on the slow lane. I'm sure my cycle will not exceed more than 30 to 33 ka speed at best. The rider would have slammed into me. So I thought about the scenario multiple times. Definitely the guy shouldn't have come from the opposite direction. That is an absolute fault on his end. There is no two ways about it. But if the rider would not have ridden the way he did, his life would have been saved. A family would have not lost his son so fast. And I'm not blaming the rider completely. It is our government, it is our system. We don't have strict enough rules. We don't, abroad people actually have to give a theory test. They need to understand what is lane discipline, all of these aspects, and then they get the license. Over here, you get the license just like that. You don't have you just get the license. There is a 8 that you have to ride your bike in, and you get your license. I'm not even blaming the rider completely. But if he would have ridden safely, this unfortunate incident would not have occurred. So yes, unfortunately, the rider is to blame to a certain extent. And this is my view regarding this. I hope I've not crossed any lines. I hope I haven't made anyone feel bad, because my sympathy is with the rider, with the family as well. If that guy wouldn't have come from the opposite direction at that particular point of time, the impact wouldn't have happened. But there are many scenarios where maybe a car is going slowly in that lane, the impact would have happened. Maybe a person had stopped the car for whatever reason in that lane, the impact would have happened. So be safe, guys. Lane discipline is extremely important. Understand your reflexes, understand how fast will you panic, how fast will you have a peace of mind and just turn the bike to avoid a collision. I've seen so many videos where there are super bikes in Lonavala, they're riding in their lane, there's a truck that without looking left and right just decides to turn to cross the road, take a U-turn, or see the local village people without looking left and right, they just get their 100cc bikes. I've seen super bikes just avoiding them because they have those reflexes. There are cases where even if you maintain your lane, there are idiots around. Ride safe, guys. And I really hope this incident doesn't happen with anyone. I'm open to hear your views. Let me know what you think. Thank you.